What is up, everybody? Marvel DC Fan here with another Pickups and Purchases episode. So we're just doing like we did before. I meant to do it seasonally, like I used to, but since I've been gone away on YouTube from YouTube for so long, and I can't help myself, uh, the collection that I have is just kind of spiraled out of control. So we're going to get into all of it. We're going to make a video. This is all going to be in one take. We're going to do it because I don't want to spend too much time making cuts between stuff. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is actually right there. That's my Wolverine face shell. And it's not a very good one. So I bought it. Well, here's the thing. So it was on eBay, and the guy had it. There was no bids, and he had it for like $1. And I was like, screw it, I'll put a bid in and see what happens, expecting somebody else to, bid up or whatever. But nobody did. I won it, and then I find out later that it is actually a poorly built, like there's glue all over it. The magnets don't work right, so it was a rough build of it. So, but I have it anyway, and now I have it as a display piece in my room. I'd bring it over, but the whole thing would just kind of fall apart in my hands. So, I'm not doing that. So the next thing I want to show is actually really cool, and probably one of my favorite purchases I've made this year. So I got my GameCube. You've all seen my GameCube before, but have you seen that? Look at that. So this is the Game Boy player, and this device allows you to play not only Game Boy Advance games, but also Game Boy Color and original Game Boy games. So I found it. Usually these things are pretty expensive, and that's mostly because of what's in here. There's a disc that is supposed to come with it that actually makes the Game Boy player work. If you do not have the disc, then the Game Boy player doesn't work. Won't work. So I found the player and the disc together. It was about like $200. Usually these things go for way more, but luckily I found it pretty inexpensive. So I bought it, and I spent a weekend messing around with it, playing a whole bunch of GBA games that I have. What's this one in here? If I can get it out. There we go. This one's Spider-Man. So I was messing around with it. It's cool, and it's going to be super cool when I use it for videos and stuff. I can't wait to record with this thing. But yeah, so that is that. All right. So I have this in 3 piles. I have 3 piles here of stuff, and I have a pile for stuff I bought in at stores. I have a pile of stuff that I bought on eBay, and I have a separate pile for a collection that I started in December last year that I was messing around with, and I was hoping to kind of increase it as the year went on. My goal was to collect more for this console. So let's just start off with this. Okay. So I decided to buy Nintendo 64 games, and one of the first few I bought, actually I'll show them here. I'll just rapid fire them. So I started off with this one. This is Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. So you can see the black cartridge and stuff. I think I started this because I bought Spider-Man on Nintendo 64 last year, and I wanted to keep collecting because I didn't have many. I only had 2 N64 games, so I decided screw it. Let's just buy more. So I started off with that, and then Mario 64. I bought Mario 64. Smash Brothers. I bought Smash Brothers. Mario Kart 64. Bought that. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, bought that, and also Majora's Mask, gold. Nice gold. DK64, I bought DK64, and also Diddy Kong Racing. So getting into my rare stuff. And then I bought Banjo-Kazooie, and also Banjo-Tooie together. That was fun. And then lastly, Paper Mario. So most of these are just kind of out of order of when I bought them, but I started with Mario, then I went to Zelda, whatever. There's still a few games on my list I still haven't bought yet, but I'm gonna get around to it at some point when I have money. Not right now though. So let's move these out of the way. Let's get into the eBay pile next. And boy, there's a lot to sort through. So my goal for this year started off with buying Nintendo 64 games, and then it just kind of pivoted to like Nintendo stuff and whatnot. And these are not Nintendo games. These are PlayStation 3 games, but Uncharted. I bought the Uncharted trilogy, so I have all these together in one set. I already have the remaster on PS4 and Uncharted 4. I think the only thing that I'm really missing is the PS5 remaster set that has Uncharted 4 and whatever the side game was, I forget. But also another thing too, I was just buying stuff for collections and whatnot. So PS3 was part of it as well. Okay. Alright, so next is a bit of a twofer. So firstly, Mario Sunshine. This is a game that I've wanted for a long time, and GameCube was just kind of on my mind. I found it for a reasonable price, not super expensive. So I bought Mario Sunshine, and then I also bought Luigi's Mansion. Never had the first Luigi's Mansion, and stay tuned for later this year on the LP channel. We might see more of Luigi's Mansion. We'll see. So, okay. So I bought those, and then a while later, I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to buy more Nintendo stuff. So, these next three were just stuff that I haven't had yet. So, firstly was Mario Galaxy 2. I have the first Mario Galaxy. I didn't have Galaxy 2. So now I have basically all the 3D Mario games together. All the ones that matter. So, I moved on from Mario, and I was like, okay, next up, DK, Donkey Kong. So I got, which hand? Okay, so Donkey Kong Country Returns, which by this point, the Switch version was already out, and I already have it on 3DS, so I'm going to buy the Switch version later. And then I also bought Tropical Freeze, which is also on Switch with the funky mode. So, what are you going to do? But I have them in my set, and I'll be finishing my DK collection later. Okay, so next up, I was on a little bit of a Metroid binge, so I bought some Metroid games, starting off with Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and then after that, Metroid Prime 3, so I finished my Prime Trilogy. And speaking of Prime Trilogy on the Wii, so it's just the Steelbook. I don't have the actual game. The game is like $100 by itself, the disc. So I'm gonna get the game eventually. But I got the nice Steelbook. I found this, it was like $20 just for the Steelbook. But I'm happy with this, and I can put it on my shelf and whatever. And then I also got Other M. Gotta complete the collection somehow. Okay, so after that, I finished Metroid. I was like, okay, Zelda. Let's buy some Zelda games. So firstly, Wind Waker on the GameCube. I bought this, and then not too long after that, a guy offered this to me, and I wasn't gonna buy it initially, but I was just like, okay, let's just get it. Wind Waker HD on the Wii U. The best way to play Wind Waker, I believe. I messed around with this a little bit. It's pretty good. It's really good. So, I bought both Wind Wakers, and I was debating on buying the Wii U version for the next game, Twilight Princess. I have the Wii version. I don't have the GameCube version, not yet. The GameCube version is so expensive. The few listings I found were like $400, but this one was like $20. So, Wii version was. And then also Skyward Sword, which I know is on Switch. Stop it. But I have it just in my set. So that was all the eBay stuff that I went through. Or actually, no, I'm not done. there's two more things that I bought on eBay. Firstly was Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. This is a remake of the first Metal Gear Solid released for the GameCube, and this is an extremely rare game, and luckily I found it for, I think I want to say $80 complete. It has both the disc and bubble wrap. Let's get rid of the bubble wrap. Screw that shit. So both discs, so that's cool. And then Swifty was playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to buy my own copy of Resident Evil 4. This is the original version of Resident Evil 4. I'll get the remake at some point or another. But now I just have the original on the GameCube, and it's so nice. So that was all of the eBay stuff that I bought. The next pile is all just stuff that I bought at stores, GameStop, used game places, and whatever. So let's start off with these next two. Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3. Found them at a store. I was like, screw it. Whatever. They didn't have Dead Space Extraction for the Wii, which is something that I'm going to get eventually and complete my Dead Space set. So I have these, and they're cool. Also, the same day I went and bought Mario RPG on the Switch. We were just at a GameStop. I felt like getting it. I still need to buy Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door on Switch, which is something that I'm gonna do eventually. So I got that, and then a while later, I was out with my friend, and we just kind of went to all the stores in our area, and I found a large amount of them to show off. So firstly, we were at a mall, and they had a GameStop, and while I was there, I got Luigi's Mansion 3. So scratch that off my Switch list. And then I also bought The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. For future purposes, let's get to 1,000 subs. You'll see The Last of Us Part 2. So let's get it. I know Swifty's going to be happy when I eventually post this, and he'll see that I bought Part 2 Remastered, but whatever. Okay. So after that, we were driving around. There was a local GameStop, or not a game store, a used game store that was at a next to a university. So, and we went in there, we were messing around, we were just doing whatever, and I found 3 games that I bought. So firstly, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. This is the only PS2 game I don't have, or I didn't have for Ratchet and Clank, so now I have the whole trilogy plus Deadlocked. I don't think I have Size Matters, but I'm buying that for the PSP. So I bought that, and then I also bought Mario Kart 8. I already have Mario Kart 8 on Switch, but I was also part of that, buying Nintendo games for all consoles and whatnot. Wii U was on my list. So Mario Kart 8, got Mario Kart 8. And then finally, I bought this, Aquaman, on the Xbox. Let's get it. Review at some point. I don't know when, but it's an awful game. So, not too long afterward, we found another GameStop, and I found, or actually, no. Well, no, okay, I remember. So, we were at a GameStop. It was kind of nearby in the area, not close to our hometown, and I bought Killer Instinct on Xbox One. This is not the complete edition, which I was hoping to find, but Killer Instinct is still awesome. Killer Instinct, let's get it. And then we were at another GameStop. We were driving around everywhere. We went to another GameStop, and I found 2 games that, I'm just putting on the list. So I found Midnight Suns for Xbox Series X, and then I also found LA Noire. And there's going to be a funny story that I'm going to tell here in a little bit, but we'll get to that here soon. So way later on, I'm at a mall and I'm cruising around. I'm going store to store, and I found some games at a GameStop that I was interested in playing. So firstly is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. They're coming out with the Switch 2 version. I don't really care, but I was just like, a Kirby. I haven't bought anything Kirby this year, and that was going to change. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land 3D, it looks great. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to get around to it here soon. Next, Ghost of Tsushima on PS4. I was going to hold out and buy it on PS5, but it was right there. I was just going through the bargain bin, just seeing if there was anything else. And this was the only thing that popped out in the bargain bin. So I was like, whatever, let's get it. And then this next purchase, I feel stupid now, but I bought LA Noire again. I forgot that I bought it on PS4. And I was like, oh, LA Noire, cool. I haven't tried this game yet, but I should buy it on Xbox because my Xbox collection is not super huge, but I would just buy more of it. So now, let me get it here. 1 sec. So now I have 2 copies of LA Noire. And I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give my PS4 copy to a friend of mine, and I'm going to keep the Xbox copy for myself. I don't think there's any special, console exclusive features. I don't think. But he's going to get the PS4 copy. So, yeah. So let's just move that. So I was at another store that same day, and I found some movies that I haven't owned yet. Or actually, I own one of these, and the other I didn't. So let's start off with this. Deadpool 2, the super duper extended cut, whatever. I have Deadpool 2 on Blu-ray, but it's not the regular, it's just the regular version. It's not this, which I was hoping that set had the super duper cut, but now I have the super duper cut, and I can make a video on it later if I ever get around to reviewing the Deadpool movies, which I hope so, because I want to get around to reviewing this. Deadpool and Wolverine, love this movie, saw it 3 times in theaters. It's great, you should watch it. It's on Disney Plus. Go now, do it. So later on that day, I was out and about, and I was at a Shoppers Drug Mart, and I found a couple things that I was like, okay, let's get it. So firstly, Hellboy on Blu-ray. I have the other Hellboy movies on DVD and Blu-ray, but this was the one that I didn't have. And I don't have the Crooked Man one, not yet. So if I find it for a reasonable price, I'm going to buy that as well. And then also, I found Swamp Thing on DVD. It was like $14. Whatever. It's mine now. They're never getting it back. Oh, I forgot. I had 2 more eBay things that I just had on my wish list, and I had money to spare, and I was like, okay, let's just get them. So firstly is Iron Man on PSP. I have this on PS2, but there is a specific reason why I bought this on PSP, and I'll talk about it later when I get to that video. But it's a very minute thing, but I have it. So, and then along with that, I bought Iron Man Exo Manowar Heavy Metal for the PS1. It's a 2D shoot 'em up, 2 players. It looks neat. I'm trying it out for a video. Okay, so the last 2 things I bought. This was right before Star Wars Day, and I found them. It was it was buy 2 get or buy 1 get 1 half off. So I bought whatever. Okay, so Fallen Order and then Jedi Survivor used. I have Fallen Order on PS5, PS4, but that's digital, and I wanted to get a physical copy. And then, just because it was there and it was half off, I got Jedi Survivor. But somebody fucked up the case, and I'm so pissed. Do not let your kids go near your game cases or else stuff like that. I'm assuming it was somebody's kids, but do not do this. Do not do this. But yeah. So that is all the purchases I made up until this point. I'm not spending any money right now because I'm actually looking for new employment, but I'm going to save that for another video when I get around to it. But yeah, I just wanted to show off my collection so far and let me know what you guys think about that. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff down below. Be sure to follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know the drill. Join my Discord server. Watch my other channels, my Let's Play channel, my podcast. Do it. My archive. Watch all my videos. Just do it. Until next time. Have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching. And take care of yourselves, everybody.